again, this is a dangerous storm that's close enough to us that we have to be able to react. And the problem is if we wait too long, it would be very hard for people to get off the island. So we'll make that determination tomorrow, and that is definitely being considered.
Hurricane Dorian. Oh, Hurricane Dorian.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. Oh. Damn Hurricane Dorian. I think better miss us.
Oh. So not in the mood for a hurricane.
I was really hoping to not have a hurricane this year.
I was hoping to not have a hurricane for like the next 10 years at least.
It'd be okay
Maybe
if
even
I
50.
never saw another hurricane.
Yeah.
Like in my lifetime, that'd be sweet.
That would definitely be sweet.
But alas, there's a hurricane. And we don't know yet where it's going to land in Florida.
I'm never going to pick that up on that.
And we don't know yet where it's going to land in Florida. I just don't know. Nobody knows until it gets closer and closer and closer.
Well, that's one of the torturous things because now we really can't plan anything.
Yeah.
Shopping, lunch next week.
It's like the next 5 days of our life is just totally
up in the air.
Yeah, you can't plan anything. Can't do anything but fight the crowds for hurricane supplies.
I thought everybody was supposed to get their hurricane supplies when it was tax-free in June.
Yeah, they buy that stuff and then they eat it all. It's crazy out there. I've been noticing that getting progressively worse as time goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Like with every hurricane that comes through,
Mm-hmm.
like the supplies just wipe out quicker and quicker.
It does make me panic because I just know what's in store.
Well, it could be pretty awful. And I really hope it doesn't come our way because that's...
We always have damage to our wherever we live. I don't know if your apartment got damaged in Charley. Your apartment in College Park.
No, there was no significant damage. I mean, there's some little things, you know, a few branches down and things, but nothing like no structural damage, you know, no collapses or...
Yeah, I had 7 trees on the house I was renting in Winter Park.
I think it actually...
And 13
I
fell.
think that it actually shifted that house off of its foundation a little bit.
I'm sure it did. I mean, yeah, it was nuts. And
I mean, after all those trees fell on your house, like the front door didn't open right, and like there was that split in the wall in the back room that was like getting bigger. That really messed up that house.
It really did. I can't believe it. I'm surprised that house is still there. I'm surprised that has not been bulldozed.
Me too. I thought they were just going to saw up the whole corner. And that'd be that. Even though my apartment didn't get messed up, like, there were down trees everywhere. Like, there was so many blocked streets where you just couldn't get through. Like, I had friends living up back there, and like she had trees down on both sides of the street. Like she couldn't get her car out of the driveway to go to the store. It was like they were like trapped in their house with all the trees that had fallen in the road. And I remember going, heading toward the mall situation. And,
Fashion Square Mall?
Yeah. And finding that the pole on one of those streets had been knocked. It was a concrete pole that had been knocked across the road. And there was like rebar from the concrete all stuck out, and it just made a huge mess. It took them forever to clean that up, get that road open again.
But the really bad part was the fact that there was 3 weeks without phone because we were using landlines.
That was the worst.
You had a cell phone, but you were like my grandfather. You never took it with you. You always left it. Like I would call and never get an answer on that thing. So we were still using landlines, and that was after 3 weeks. My power situation, I don't even know if I should go into that, what happened with the power situation, because those trees fell on the power lines.
They knocked the power box off the wall, and you lost one of the 220 lines in your house.
Yeah. And so I had partial power, which was fine with me until Duke Energy's creepy guy came into the backyard, and he was like, absolutely not, these trees have to go. But my property manager was saying, your house isn't important. I have way more expensive houses to worry about.
He just wasn't handling it.
And the only reason they even moved those trees was because Hurricane Francis was coming, or was it Jeanne or Francis came through 3 weeks later?
I think it was Jeanne. Francis was the last one to come through.
Oh, it was? Okay, so there was Jeanne, and the city literally forced them to take those trees out of there. Otherwise, he would have left them, and I would have had no power. Oh. I would have had no power for who knows how long.
That would have been.
That was a night. It was hot as balls. Oh God, it was hot as balls.
Florida without an air conditioner is just.
It's a nightmare.
It's the worst. I mean, that's why people are so comfortable here, is because they have AC everywhere they go. AC at work, AC in their car, AC in their house. But when you've got a hurricane and you're out of power for a month, and there's no airflow. I mean, if you don't have a generator to run an air conditioner or some fans or something,
like a window unit air conditioner, not a central.
Yeah, it is like a static, wet, humidity, hot that will just make you be miserable. Like your bed will just soak with sweat.
Oh, I could not breathe after Hurricane Matthew in 2016.
The air was so thick after that.
It's like it just stopped. There was no airflow, and I couldn't breathe. I got bronchitis like less than a month later. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but anyway, I had to sleep with an ice pack. I couldn't breathe, and then we got a rat in the house. Not only did we get a rat in the house, we got 2 rats in the house, and one of them brought a banana into the wall, and it smelled like banana rat for like years.
That was awful.
I can't believe that happened.
Don't leave the door open at night. I'm scared. What do you mean?
You're not supposed to use those for things that aren't. Oh man, because we didn't have a generator at the time. We have 2 generators now. Let's make that clear right now. We have 2 generators, an extra window unit AC.
I got 2 5 kilovolt amp generators.
Nice.
Those things will run the whole house.
We will. That's a lot of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and the cell phones were down after Matthew too, so I couldn't call my family. We couldn't call anybody to find out if everybody was okay. And that came in through the east, like Dorian's coming in through the east, and that really affects us a lot. Charley came in through the west, but where we were living, we were more west.
Irma put us just on the borderline of flood.
Oh.
Every stream, every river, everything after Irma was like up to the max. It was like, if any of that stuff had gotten any higher, like if there was another 3 or 4 inches of rain, like all the roads would have flooded over, a lot of houses would have gotten flooded. It would have been a mess.
We had a lot of damage after Matthew. I should actually take footage of this damage that we still haven't fixed. Our paint filled up. Like it ran down, like water ran from our skylights into the wall. Filled up a paint bowl.
Like a water balloon.
Like a water balloon.
It just like started to swell in the wall. I'm like, what is that? It looks like a water balloon. It's water coming out.
Yeah, and you poked a hole to like relieve it of its
it was
something.
It was running down the ceiling and dripping onto the back wall and dripping in between the studs into the the door frame header, whatever that is. And then it was leaking in the seam from the door to the wall into the paint and filling up the paint. So I poked that hole so that I could let all the water out and it wouldn't just collect in the wall and like mold and stuff.
I taped over it because for some reason I thought that was going to stop the disgusting smell. Yeah, getting the roof fixed, that actually...
that's what fixed the disgusting.
That's what...
Yeah.
Insurance company did not care about our hurricane damage. They were unsympathetic.
Yep.
As they will always be now after Charley, where they gave people so much and those people never spent it on their places, on
That's
their
true.
fixing their damage.
Including a friend I had at the time whose screen and pool enclosure got completely torn down by an oak tree that fell on it.
And used it to start a business.
Which failed.
I mean, and the house that I was renting, they didn't fix any of the damage, but that adjuster was like, you get a fence, and you get a this, and you get a that. And it was like, yeah, this is great. And they didn't fix the property. They pocketed that money.
Of course they did.
Obviously, they pocketed it because...
Oh, yeah, he was like, oh, ching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, payday. I'm not telling the customer about this.
Not having electricity, and even worse, not having running water. Now, don't get me wrong. Anybody who may be listening to this, I have family in South Florida whose houses were completely destroyed, reduced to toothpicks from Hurricane Andrew.
Well, no, that would just be completely over-the-top devastating.
Yeah. And so that happened to my family. So I already know, like, how devastating. You're without power. Yeah, they're real inconvenient, but... I know the real devastations of hurricanes, so that also scares me. And every single one of them, to this day, still panic and freak out.
They all make me uneasy.
The hurricanes? Or my family?
No, the hurricanes.
We have a wood frame house, and Irma was terrifying. Because I'm just like, the siding's going to fly off, the roof is going to fly off. We didn't have the roof fixed at that time, so...
That's true.
I was terrified. Those were some pretty strong winds during Irma. But yeah, they pretty much terrify me. And we've had so much rain lately that I'm afraid there's going to be a lot of flooding.
Well, I've been noticing that all the retention ponds and stuff, or at least a lot of them, especially out in Oviedo, in certain parts of Orlando, and even in Winter Park, I'm noticing the lakes and streams and stuff seem to have a lot more water in them than they used to.
Yeah. So when Hurricane Charley happened, that was also a wood frame house, but I wasn't there. I went to stay with a relative with a nice block house. But damage happened there. A tree came through a big window. That was scary.
Wow.
And I told you, I called you the next morning. Finally got a hold of you because you didn't have your cell phone on you. And then whoever the people you were with, didn't tell you your cell phone was ringing. That's really nice. But anyway, let's clarify. You were actually... I don't want to say specifically where you were at, but you were 40 minutes north of Orlando. You were near Ocala. And you guys got nothing up there. And when I told you, phones were going to be out for 3 weeks, power was going to be out.
No way.
You did not believe it. You're like, what? It was tumbleweeds up here. We didn't even get a breeze.
And then I started driving back into town.
And as you got back into town, you started seeing.
I started seeing little things, like business signs. Like the inserts knocked out of them and sitting in the street, and the gas station letters are all over the place. And then I started to see traffic lights are flipped over.
The wildest thing that I saw was one of those big giant billboards, and I'm talking the metal round thing that holds it was bent over like it was nothing.
That's what I saw. I saw one of those things because a lot of those big billboards just got toppled. And I started passing by that stuff and I was like, whoa, there was some serious wind came through here.
Yeah.
And the closer I got to my apartment, the more nervous I was getting because there was a lot of damage and it was bad. There was so many toppled trees and big, huge oaks that were... just everywhere. like Orlando really got decimated by Charley. Like they had a lot of damage. A lot of people's houses got totally devastated. Mostly from the falling trees.
Yeah, a lot of trees. You know, because they're hurricane spawn tornadoes, which a lot of people don't realize that hurricanes spawn tornadoes.
Yeah, and I think there was a couple of tornadoes that went through Orlando in specific areas.
Undoubtedly in my yard, because those trees were just twisted, you know, out of their trunks. Hopefully I can find some pictures.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because it is really wild. Okay, so let's say the Hurricane Dorian is going to start 10 p.m. on Monday night. They invoke a curfew. Go ahead. They invoke a curfew at like 7 p.m. that night, and it's going to last until 24 hours after that hurricane was over. So if it's really slow moving and it stays here for 24 hours, we have another 24 hours after that we can't leave the house.
Yeah, you're stuck in your house for literally 2 days.
2 to 3 days.
Going
That's
stir crazy.
Yeah, with windows boarded up.
With windows boarded up.
You're in the dark.
No electric.
I mean, it's hot as balls.
It's hot as balls. Everything in your refrigerator is defrosting.
Hopefully you maybe you're lucky enough to have a generator or a cooler, or you got rid of all your stuff. We lost in Matthew we lost a lot of stuff in our refrigerator because I had just stocked up on like all this buy one get one free dairy at Publix.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do with it. It was like, what can you do? I tried to drink it all, but it just, it was like a lot of kefir. I couldn't drink it all. Here's a really important thing for anybody out there listening. The most important tip after a hurricane. Did you know what that is? When you come to a traffic light that's out.
4-way stop sign,
treat it
please.
like a 4-way stop sign.
Oh, I can't tell you how many intersections. It was just like people were blowing through.
Major intersections. We're talking 50 and 436.
The roads.
And Aloma and 436
are so dangerous after hurricane.
Dangerous.
There's no traffic infrastructure. All the traffic lights are out. Everything is broken. There's trees all in the road.
Which would be why they don't want you to go anywhere.
Which
for
is
24
why you
hours.
have a curfew, because it's dangerous out there, and if everybody just gets on the road, everything's gonna be clogged up by accidents because nobody can obey a 4-way stop. It's like, does anybody know how a 4-way stop works?
And not to mention, like, you're getting all drunk up in there during the hurricane, like it's, and then
hurricanes are rough, even if you don't get completely devastated.
Yeah, there's still a lot of BS. Not to mention, is everybody just taking off work for this? Because we've always had a crazy work situation. During Charley, when all the power was out, your boss was like, I know that our business is centered around electricity and electrical things, but, come on in to work. What? I
know.
Was there any reason did you guys do anything there other than appease this wackadoo that wanted you guys there because there was no power?
And help on board the store.
Really? But it was like, there was no power. Like, but he had you there all day. And it's like, and if you guys didn't show up, you would have got fired. Or a week off or something.
No, I got penalized. I got like a week without pay or something because I didn't show up one day.
When there was no power.
Yeah, I had no power for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, I had no alarms, I had no anything.
No shower. But also there was no was no power at work. Where you have electrical things,
it was
your
ridiculous.
Business was around everything electrical and electricity, and there is none, and there's no reason to be there for 2 weeks.
No, he was a terrible boss. Very unforgiving and very unrelenting.
Yeah, all the chores before the hurricane. You have to wash all your clothes, all your towels, all your bedding, children. Pets, all their bedding, all their stuff, all this stuff has to get washed because they don't want you, even if there's running water, they don't want you to use the water like 24 hours, like, unless it's a necessity.
Yeah.
After, or even longer. After Irma, it was longer. They don't want you washing clothes, dishes.
Water lines get broke.
Yeah.
And the sewage systems
the
totally
sewage.
Overloaded.
Mm-hmm. That's why.
That was the real reason why they didn't want us to run the water. The sewage systems couldn't take it.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. We got, with Irma, the flooding was so bad that the sewage treatment plants almost had to dump their raw sewage back into the environment because they were right at the threshold of being overloaded.
Oh man.
Like everything else, man.
I know.
Everything was right
at the threshold.
It was
That
like,
was that's so nuts. That's so nuts.
like
I'm
we
grateful.
narrowly escaped like
Yeah.
raw sewage problems and mass flooding.
Yeah.
And, man, that would have been like total.
Oh
mess.
yeah. But yeah, I'm very grateful that we were on the verge, but it didn't go over. It was, and that's what terrifies me, though. It's like, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know how bad it's going to be. A hurricane would be beautiful if it wasn't so destructive, because the way the wind sounds, it's such a circular, different sound. It sounds different than anything I've ever heard. It's a really unique sound, and it would be beautiful if it weren't.
It's surreal because when the transformers blow and the infrastructure starts to give out,
Yeah.
and everything goes to dark.
Yeah.
And that's all you hear
Yeah.
is the winds howling from the hurricane in total darkness.
And then it comes in waves too, so it's really, really like
Yeah, yeah.
and then it dies down, and then it comes back, and then it dies
the
down.
violent bands of rain and wind that come through, because that's how you get the bands from the hurricane. You know, one thing that is not my friend during a hurricane is Doritos and Cheetos and junk food.
Oh, I know you think it's the right thing to do. I do it every time. I think it's the right thing
Let's
to do.
get a few bags of Cheetos, and
But-
then you freaking
Yeah, you're eating pork rinds for 2 months. Or
Yeah.
2 weeks. Eating
yeah,
pork rinds.
pork rinds and beef jerky.
Pork rinds.
Pork
Pork
rinds.
Ugh.
Exactly.
So we'll fill up the gas cans, and
Yeah, I already filled up one of the trucks, so.
oh yeah, that's right, your work truck.
Yeah, I filled that up.
And the Toyota, we're going to use the gas in the Toyota, so I don't even know how. Okay, here's a question I have. How long can you store gasoline because it goes bad? So, like, if we buy it in May or June at the beginning of hurricane season, is it gonna last until November 30th?
You got about 6 months on gas.
Okay, so that's about as long as hurricane season.
Maybe you can get a year out of it. You can like put a I forget what they
Additive?
call it. Yeah, it's like a gas additive that kind of restores it. But
Do you really want to run that through your engines?
but basically, what would happen is I would just put it in the gas tank after a while and get new gas. I mean, just
Okay.
recycle it. You know, just because we got them in gas cans doesn't mean I can't dump them in gas tanks. After a couple of years, it starts to turn to varnish.
Oh, wow.
Starts to get thick.
And then you can actually varnish your deck or something? That kind of
Uh,
varnish?
no, I
I don't
wouldn't.
know what you mean by varnish.
I don't know. It gets a
Nail varnish
It gets
to
a
paint my nails?
varnishy coating into it. It turns to like a varnishy texture. Maybe
Like a sludge?
Maybe you can varnish with it. I don't know. Are you gonna?
You know, that's the
veneer your
other
fingernails?
tragedy here with Dorian is I'm not going to be able to paint my nails because I got to do a bunch of damn chores for this upcoming hurricane.
Oh, what a
Waited in line for like 40 minutes to get gas today in all the vehicles and for the generator and stuff. And that was nuts. Why aren't people at work? Because people got to work for a living. And like, who's got these cush jobs that you could just take hurricane time? By the way, if you have a cush job where you could take hurricane time, leave a comment. If you are hiring for a cush job that will allow me to take hurricane time, please leave a comment with your info.
nice.
All right, is it time for donuts? Just kidding.
Sure is. We're gonna be super busy.
That's all right. Early as balls.
Oh, so early. I'm definitely on autopilot. I'm like reaching over to put my sunglasses on.
You okay to drive? What are you doing?
Well, the windshield wipers are going.
Yeah.
I thought I turned the windshield wipers off and they were still going.
Oh.
And they stopped going.
Let's try to turn your lights on.
Yes.
see, maybe stop at Starbucks and then see if that gas station across the street is open.
I suppose.
Trying to beat the crowd. I hope this was a good idea. It seemed like a good idea last night when we weren't tired as balls.
Oh, I was tired as balls last night, but
What was that? Have a beautiful hurricane?
have a wonderful day.
Oh.
Have a beautiful hurricane.
Oy, it's like 90 degrees at 5:30 in the morning. This is definitely hurricane weather.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag that hurricane life.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not so glamorous.
Nope. It's no salt life.
It's definitely not salt life. It'll make you salty.
It'll make it salty, but it ain't no salt life.
Alright, to the gas station that had nobody at it. But they are 6 cents more than they were yesterday.
Well, I don't know what they were yesterday.
I call price gouging.
I just know that they're 6 cents more than
The other
7-Eleven.
Yeah, but gas was $2.39. What is it now? That's 7 cents more. It's $2.46 up here.
Oh, yeah, 7 cents.
I did the quick maths.
You doing the quick math.
Let's see what kind of line there is.
There ain't no line.
There's no line.
There
Yeah.
ain't nobody here.
Pretty sure
Oh, they're out of gas.
They
That's
are?
why. Yeah, all the pumps are.
Oh no, they're out of gas?
Yep.
Oh crap.
Yep. Every last pump's got a bag over it.
Oh no. Alright, we're gonna have to go to the other mobile and hope they have gas.
Yep.
Oh man, I didn't expect that. Wow, I didn't expect that. I don't know why I didn't expect that. They're
I
running
don't
out of
know.
gas everywhere, but I kind of have
Nope.
gas in it.
I'm circling back to the
Oh, another gas station out of gas. $2.39.
Okay,
Bless
well,
you.
I go with Circle K before.
Wow, bless you.
Man,
Man.
sneeze attack.
What?
Should have got gas yesterday. There's
What?
no gas.
There isn't?
No sign on it. Sorry, no gas.
Oh crap. Oh crap.
See?
Oh yeah. They all have no gas signs? Because there's a truck parked.
There's no gas.
Oh, no gas.
Oh, it looks like this one might actually have gas.
Oh man, it's a small miracle. Perhaps. Let's check it out. Woo! Girl, there's gas.
Looks like.
Looks like, yeah.
Alright. 4th time's a charm.